Like, it doesn't help that we have like an industrial vacuum cleaner. You can hear literally like 2 streets down the road.
Big one, yeah.
Dude,
So,
this thing's
yeah,
a
we've gotta,
jet
like,
turbine.
So we have to, like, think about the neighbors.
Yeah.
And, do it at a certain time. Respect other people while you do it.
But that's our brand. Our brand is always we get the good shit and we go large. So we've got the extreme shit.
Yeah.
Like the power on this thing's no joke.
It's strong. You hear this thing starting up.
You need muscles. You need muscles to move this shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear, when I start it, it goes.
That's the good shit.
It goes. That's the good shit.
3, 2, 1, and we're live, boys. So welcome to Hanging with Hardcore episode number 11. On this week's podcast, we're going to be talking about things that we missed in the previous 10 episodes. And then we're going to be talking about a morning routine that you guys can all implement before, you start your day.
Yeah, Ripper. I think it's important to kind of note to the audience that we are going to miss things. Like probably often as well.
Yeah.
But a part of us making this ABC podcast structured course is that when we miss something, we want to go back and actually make sure we hit it for you guys, because we're in the business of creating content so that you guys can learn from it in the best way possible. All right, so we've dropped our egos enough to admit when we make mistakes, we're going to go back and fix them. So that's what we're trying to do today.
Yeah. So yeah, in the last 10 podcasts, we covered quite a bit, and we did miss a few things. I think should we just get into it?
Yeah,
like
like
from the top 5 heroes, we talked about really impressive people on there that resonate with us personally. I think one person that we missed, it was so obvious, was Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Joe Rogan was just like so important, like especially for me and like all of us, because I feel like he was like an example of someone that was thinking in an intelligent way with like no bias, and they were like very data driven. And like when I first stumbled across Joe Rogan, it was just like interesting to see how he goes about the way he forms his sentences and ideas, like how he actually thinks. So he was like just such a great example of as a top 5 hero, because you have this guy with just such an experience and wisdom. So like I didn't think it was capable for someone to actually think in that way. And then as soon as I saw the light, it's just like, oh, that's how a wise person acts and goes about their life. I feel like it was like an eye-opener, say like with how we have Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah, it was like an eye-opener for us in terms of the finances. But Joe Rogan was like in terms of being a good, nice person. Yeah.
The thing I love about his podcast is that like he, all of his podcasts, it's like he's a new person into that conversation. So like you see that topic from that point of view. So you're building your foundation as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
When you're listening.
And I think like the longer form content of Joe Rogan, that was the longest, other than a movie, that's the longest thing I've ever watched, right? In the beginning, but what it actually helped me appreciate and love long form content, because you realize you're actually getting a hell of a lot more value from it. So there's a lot of people out there who we've already heard how many times, oh, your podcast is too long.
Yeah.
Dude, I've heard that way too many times.
It's like, it's where the value comes from. The value comes from us being able to conversate at depth about something.
I think that's what he brings to the internet, which is, especially with like nowadays where everything is just headline reading. He brings context to whatever topic that he's talking about. Especially with the guests that he brings on. He comes into it like he's a student and he just wants to learn from the best people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that inquisitive curiosity kind of mindset we were talking about in the previous podcast, right?
But you came across him like a long time ago. I think episode 1 you started seeing.
Yeah, right? I think maybe like the first 10 episodes, and then I went back to episode 1. So I've been able to see like how far he's come. Like he literally just had like one microphone, and him and his mate Red Band just like on a laptop doing nothing, and they just spoke about whatever, and it turned into this big thing. But the thing I love about Joe Rogan is, like you're saying, versing those headlines, like it's killing like those news agencies. Like, they just hear like boom, and they get like 4 different people and they have a fight. That's not teaching you how to have a conversation. Like, the other day we were talking to our friend, and she was saying like, what I really like about your podcast is like when someone's speaking, we all just sit there and listen.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a lesson in itself, and I think we've learned that from who? From Joe Rogan. Like whatever we see on the media, it's like not to inform you, it's to get you all like, all anxious,
riled up, and angry and shit like that.
Yeah, get your emotions going through the roof.
Yeah,
I think the great thing with Joe Rogan is that a lot of the guests that he brings on, they think he's actually right wing, like conservative, just from his looks and appearance. But he's an extremely liberal person. Like he loves pro-choice. He loves rights for every single human being, whatever you're into, right? He's in, like he stands up for that kind of stuff. The great thing about Joe Rogan is that he goes into every conversation with an open mind.
Yeah.
And if it makes sense to him, regardless of if it's right or left, he just uses it. Like he takes that on board. I think that's what you can like learn from him.
Yeah, I think the world as a whole is missing a hell of a lot of just common sense. And it's like nice to find someone who just applies a little bit of common sense to their life, and they're like, hey,
exactly.
That's like sounds, and in my opinion, that's the right thing to do. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. I think as well, like just coming from like, say like being brought up as a child, like you're always taught like you're never really taught to sort out your issues between two human beings. Like it's always like turns into like a verbal argument usually, or like literally a fight. But you can see half the time he doesn't even agree. But then, and he'll be asking more questions to get to the source. And then sometimes you'll see like, oh, he flips. He'll flip and change his mindset. And like, hey, actually, after I did more research and after, at the beginning of the podcast, I didn't agree. After listening to you more, I'm like, oh shit, I realized I had flaws in my game. I didn't understand the whole thing. You're correct. And that's what I like about it.
So many people just make presumptions on what they think the actual idea the other person has anyway. They don't actually do the work to understand what it is they're saying.
So it's like everybody, like they have their ego attached to their opinion, and they think they're an expert on something. Like we see all the time with finances, like if you're not an expert, then how come you don't have the results to back it up? Or when it could be anything, especially like with, it's a touchy subject, but with coronavirus right now, people think they're an expert. Like, who actually knows what's going on? Like, the actual science is very difficult. Or politics. All this stuff, when you look into it, it's very, very nuanced. And it's really hard to even know what the right answer is. And there might be a probability that no one actually knows the truth with many things in life.
There's a lot of things as well. Like, as we were talking about that foundation or tree of knowledge, like, you need a lot of those foundations set to even be able to understand a lot of the nuances or the leaves of certain topics.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. Like everyone just, as we were saying last podcast or a couple of podcasts ago, you just start with the leaves. It's like you can't start with the leaves if you don't have the foundation.
Yeah.
Right. And then just knowing something to be able to memorize, to play your own ego to be able to say it, just for wanting to say something, you don't understand or know the information. That's just ego.
Yeah. And talking about that ego and all that stuff, like that's what we do as Hardcore Headstart. We're not saying our system is the best. We're just saying it works for a lot of people and we've helped a lot of people. But we're not saying it's the only way. And same with our podcast. We're saying today we're going to talk about what we missed because we're not perfect. And if we miss anything in the future, we'll touch on it again. Or if we find out a better way to do something, we will change our opinion and say, hey, this is the good shit now. We're going to update it.
Yeah.
So we're never stuck on just one way of doing things. And that's our mindset through Kaizen. Constantly improve and update and keep moving forward.
Another thing that we could probably take away from Joe Rogan, and it was more clear to me in one of his latest episodes. He had a guest on, I think her name is Amishi Jha, and she is a neuroscientist who released a book on focusing. And basically what Joe Rogan was saying was anything that he's not interested in, he just can't keep focused on it. So with Joe Rogan, he plays into his strengths. Like he doubles down on his strengths. Like he openly says he doesn't understand stocks, he doesn't understand finance, so he stays away from that. But he goes all in on the things that he loves, and that's why he's so polarizing. That's why he's got such a big platform for what he does. He's just himself. I think that's one good thing that we can take away from Joe Rogan. Is just to lean into your strengths.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What else we got? What else do we miss?
So from anything else on Joe Rogan?
That's pretty much everything. Like, but yeah, I think people should go check him out, and then maybe start with like a podcast that you might be interested in. Like, remember there was one like we started about like Egypt and like
Graham Hancock.
All of that crazy stuff, and it's just like
Randall
fun
Carson.
to get into it.
Yeah.
So like have some fun before you get into like a random, like this neuroscientist one's probably like boring for a person just jumping into it.
Yeah.
Super interesting for us now.
Yeah.
Because we built that habit and all of that. But yeah, like think of it like that. There's always like something.
Do what you love until you love doing it.
Yeah. Exactly. And yeah, he's just like such a great source of information. Like anything that you want to learn, he is one of the best sources online. It's unbiased, straight from the source, from the experts.
And he's bold, so you can trust him.
We have a running joke in this house where Dylan is Joe Rogan. He's like turned into Joe Rogan
just based on the size of his skull.
Yeah.
He grows every day.
Even thinking about like that for myself, because like I wasn't fortunate enough to have a mentor. I feel like Joe Rogan was literally like my dad.
Yeah,
like he was my mentor, like virtually.
Yeah,
like I got like almost everything from him. Yeah. So that's how powerful he is.
And he didn't have a good father figure growing up, did he?
No.
Yeah, so I think this podcast is like that for like people that don't have good father figures. Like they can just turn to Joe Rogan, because I feel like he's going through that journey of like, you know, providing that that fatherly value to everyone that doesn't also have it.
100%, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any other podcasts that you guys would recommend as well?
I reckon in terms of top 5 heroes, definitely I reckon Gary Vee and Joe Rogan in combination. Yeah. And then we probably need to talk to the audience in terms of like some for females.
Yeah.
Because they're very manly type of people. But, yeah.
I recommend the Jordan Peterson podcast for everyone.
Oh yeah.
That's a really good podcast. Like he just doesn't speak for men. He speaks just generally for humans, like how to progress as a human being.
Yeah. That's
male or female.
Yeah. I'm a Rich Roll kind of fan.
Yeah.
A little bit nuanced, but he's manly guy, but he's relatively kind of feminine in the way that he speaks. He speaks softly. He speaks, he has a nice approach of way of speaking, which I like very much.
Yeah.
He might be easy to listen to.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Next one.
So the next one, I think we missed this in the energy and willpower episode, and that was energy comes from doing what success means to you.
Yeah. I think.
So this comes down to your why.
Yeah. Like you got to figure out like literally what is your definition of success. Figure it out, and it's going to take a lot of time. You know, for us personally, it's come down to like, you know, we want to donate as much money as possible and help the world in the best way possible. So that comes in 2 forms, like in terms of money, finances, saving money, investing that money, growing that money. And then in the other way, spreading the message and educating people. And that's why we do the podcast. So that's like what success means to us. So if we're not doing those 2 things, you know, or doing things that aid to helping those 2 things, then it feels like, you know, you don't feel good about yourself. So you got to find out like what success means to do, and as long as you're doing that and you're being honest to your soul and you're not lying to yourself, then you're just gonna wake up with this natural energy because you feel like you're on the right path. But the tough thing is like to find the path, it takes a lot of thinking. And then what does society tell you? Thinking is procrastination. It's not really doing anything. So there's a difference between like procrastination and thinking. Thinking is trying to find like the right actual answer. Procrastination is just like wondrously like, you know, doing nothing.
Scrolling TikTok for no reason.
Yeah. So like it's really important that you do the hard yards first at the beginning to find out what your why is, what success means to you, whatever it happens to be, then just do that and not care what anyone else thinks of you. And that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of being a human. Mm-hmm. You can choose what the game means. You can choose what life means. Yeah. So whatever you want. And then just keep doing that, you're going to be happy.
Absolutely.
I'm not even going to add anything to that.
No, that was spot on.
That was
spot on. Yeah, I don't think we have anything to add on that one. So the next one is Amazon subscriptions. Now, this is something interesting that we never talked about, and it comes down to streamlining your daily, I guess, your recurring things that you do that just unnecessarily take up energy with making decisions and stuff. So I think you've automated your subscriptions through Amazon, and so I just want to talk about.
Like, I only just started this one. I was using subscriptions before, like Dollar Shave Club, because I found like their products are pretty good. They're quite expensive, but I found personally, like, I can do like use one shaver. I don't shave that much, but it lasts 3 months. No joke, like one shaver. So it lasts really long. And then I've just found out like you could tell the subscription to only send it to you like every 6 months, which is like what I needed. So now that decision's out of my life forever, and I'm willing to pay a premium for that. But now I found out Amazon's actually even better. So the way the Amazon subscriptions works is all you need to do is be a member of the Prime. And in Australia here, it only costs $7. And then that gives you access to like free shipping. And then you can subscribe to things now. So as an example, I like run my life like I'm remembering like working at Nando's. So I'd know like how many chicken breasts do we need, how many chicken tenderloins, how many loaves of bread, how many of this and that. And I would know like Monday we need this much, that, and all of that. So I track like how many pieces of toilet paper I use and like how many rolls. And I know exactly when I run out of 12 rolls, right? And for me, I think it's 3 months, and it's all automated. So I just type in on Amazon 3 months, and then as long as you get on a subscription, it's the same price as Woolworths. So then it constantly comes in every 3 months.
Is it cheaper or is it exactly the same price?
It's practically the same price. It's only more expensive if it's not on a subscription.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like so many things like I've got on subscription, like even like those edamame like noodles, which are like the really low calorie noodles. They come on subscription. They're way cheaper than Woolworths. So like I know roughly like then that's all automated. What else do I have? My toothbrush, toothpaste, that's all done. My carbohydrate gels for the bike rides. All of that stuff, it's like all automated, so I never have to think about it. So the main thing that I only need to buy from the supermarket now is just milk, just meat, and if I want fresh bread. And then say if I do fresh bread, I always buy 2 loaves. So I know one fresh loaf will last that week. Then I freeze the other loaf, so then I don't have to pick that up again. So I'm just like always trying to think like that. How can you like batch it or make it so you don't actually have to waste time and keep on doing it? So like it's been really beneficial. I feel like as long as you can put everything on a subscription, like, and even talking about like bills and stuff, I used to look at like elder people, and they would just like pay the bill manually, they would sign the bill and all of that, and just like, why is this not on direct debit? Who cares? Like, even if they charge you wrong, there's an opportunity cost. It's probably not even worth your time to find out if it's wrong or not. Just automate everything so you save your time.
So your main goal is obviously to save time and energy through not making those decisions.
It's the same as the Mark Zuckerberg thing we're talking about in the Stevie Jobs. Stevie Jobs always had his turtleneck. Marky Zuckerberg always has his grey tee. Same as us. And it even relates to my shaved head too. Like the reason why I have a shaved head is I don't want to look at my hair. I don't want to wonder how it's sitting or any of that. I just like to shave it real quick, and I got a special shaver where it's a vacuum, so it sucks up into the thing, and there's mess free. And I prove it to you boys. I can do it in 3 minutes.
It is mess free.
It is crazy.
So just paint a picture. Dylan was in his jocks, and all the 3 boys are just watching. He's got a flow with it too.
There's like some revolutionary discovery that we're just like all looking over. It was funny.
No, I was actually, you know what? Like, of course I believe you, but I was very surprised on the lack of mess. Like, there was nothing.
There was nothing.
I know this is not a product review of the shaver, but god damn, it's not bad.
Not bad at all, man.
Might have to look into that personally as well. Like, I don't do Amazon subscriptions.
I don't do it as well, but
it's just started, so it's brand new. I haven't seen it the last month.
Oh, wow. We do our toilet paper, so our toilet paper gets subscription, all that kind of stuff. But like, that's a good idea.
Sweet.
It's a ripper.
So the next thing, again, we missed quite a bit from the energy podcast, but when you wake up, if you're tired, that means you're tired for a reason, right?
Yeah, I hear too often, like, we're not scientists or anything,
Yeah.
but generally speaking, people like, oh, when I sleep too long, I feel too tired. Like, it doesn't actually make any sense. Like, the more you sleep, actually, the less tired you become. So I like, as an example, I remember, like, when, like, I've got a lot of experience, like, it's all anecdotal, but like from Nando's, I could always see, like, if I slept, like, a lot of the time I was sleeping average in between 4 and 6 hours a night, probably averaging 5 hours sleep a night. And if I got 4 or 5 hours, I might actually feel like more alert, but it's like you're off adrenaline. That's why you feel more alert, and you got to be in tune with your heart beating faster. It's not actually rested. And then when you get 6 hours, it's like, oh, you feel more tired because you're not on that, like, adrenaline or whatever it happens to be, that rush. And then that's where I feel like it comes from. That stems from, oh, the more I sleep, the more tired I get. But like, I did that for, like, 3 years, 4 to 6 hours of sleep, and then catching up on sleep once a week, where I'd sleep in like crazy and still be tired. But I knew that was beneficial to do that one big sleep in of like 12 hours a week to get back. But the goal with myself was, like, I just wanted to work as hard as possible, many hours as possible, because I'm an extreme person, and I didn't want to work at Nando's a single day more in my life, because I wanted to do this stuff, what we're doing now. But then after, going so hard for 3 years, then once we finally left Nando's, I could sleep in every day, and I was probably sleeping 10 to 12 hours a night, and it literally took like 3 months to catch up on the sleep until I felt good again. And that probably happened to you too, Doc.
Yeah, that was very, very similar.
Yeah.
Maybe even a touch longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I didn't actually pay as much probably attention to it as necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does take that. It takes a long time to get the sleep back to like normal when you grind so hard. But yeah, people don't. I think like people always attribute like lack of sleep or they're tired to they either overslept or to like they forget that they did something 3 days ago that fatigued the hell out of them. So that's why they're goddamn tired. Yeah. Like people always just trick themselves and think like the day before, oh, but I slept 10 hours last night. I should be fine today.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but 3 days ago you went out on a bender.
Yeah.
Like,
that.
that's not how that works. You're still going to be tired for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And if you don't get the correct sleep in, it could be longer and longer and longer.
Yeah. I think there's a really good podcast on Joe Rogan with a sleep expert. I think it's Matthew Walker.
Yeah.
We'll link that in the description as well. Highly recommend you guys go check that out. And what you'll learn there is the importance of sleep and how sleep actually works.
Yeah.
We all here have watched it. We've read his book as well. Highly recommend go checking that out. Sleep is so important, and hence why we keep talking about sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep is the biggest thing that'll give you energy. It's the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah.
One of the things that scared the hell out of me watching that podcast is I can't remember the exact stat, but it was like all those hard workers who have that quote, I'll sleep when I'm dead. In their like early 50s, late like 60s, they all start getting like Alzheimer's or their rate of potentially getting Alzheimer's. Don't quote me. I think it's like 80% higher.
Yeah. It's wild stuff.
Something like that. I was like, you're 80% higher risk of getting Alzheimer's just because you didn't get your 8 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
Because you thought you were some hero. And like genetically speaking, we're not scientists, but genetically speaking, if you're a person who needs less than 8 hours, like it's so rare in the world for you to have that.
Yeah.
Like it probably isn't you.
Yeah. For you to feel fully energized with less than 8 hours.
Yeah. Like it's just
that's rare.
Chance of it being you is so low. I thought it was me. We've had this conversation. I was like, man, I'm that guy. I can run on 4 or 5 hours sleep. Easy, boys. She doesn't exist. She catches up with you.
Yeah. And what we've found out about sleep as well is, and especially in our meaning of success, it actually comes down to a combination of hard work and thinking smart. And to have your full brain capacity, you need to be well rested. So for us, even like whenever we're making big decisions, we always say, hey, I'll never make a big decision at nighttime. Let us sleep on it. Maybe even multiple sleeps on it. Make sure I'm really well rested. And we always make the big decisions in the morning and do the heavy hitters in the morning. And that's how CEOs like plan their days as well. Like you never want to do anything intense when you're tired. because you're not yourself when you're tired. You know, you're a suboptimal you.
On that point, like I do notice like when I have to wake up early for work versus when I have a day off, I'm so much more energized when I get to sleep in on my day off, like throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
And I'm so much more calm and collected compared to like when I have work. I feel like I'm a lot more anxious and
You make better decisions.
yeah.
Absolutely, man. And then just only lightly touching on it is what Dylan was talking about before of like keeping yourself almost at that stagnant level, like making sure you understand your heart rate and you're not using caffeine to like get rid to what's the correct word, to supplement sleep.
Mask your tiredness.
Yeah. So you use caffeine to like, oh, I'm not tired. So you have a drink of caffeine in the morning. Like now you're so far up here in your state that, you know, eventually you're going to dip down so much. You still work so hard, then you don't sleep. You're essentially just deteriorating your body and then masking it, or kind of like putting something over a band-aid over the top, like coffee or like some kind of stimulus to be able to keep yourself going. It's like you want to be staying at that optimal kind of range in emotion or in feeling at all times. You just want to be flat. You want to be sweet. You want to be calm. You want to be relaxed. So didn't say that the best way, but I hope it translated properly.
Well, maybe another way to explain it is saying this idea is like the quantified self movement. So you're trying to find like quantities to things that you consume or you do to yourself. So you're thinking of yourself like as literally a walking experiment. And then you're thinking of yourself like a high level elite athlete. That's how we think of ourselves, except our sport is not the 100-meter sprint or the marathon. You know, like looking at those two examples, a 100-meter sprinter needs to do a completely different regimen compared to a marathon runner. And for us, we've got like what success means to us, working hard, thinking and all of that. So we need to have a regimen, exercise routine, nutrition routine that's best suited for that. And it comes down to like every single detail matters. And that's when it's going to come to our morning routine checklist that we're going to talk about later. And that's where it all comes into play. Because eventually, if you get all these 1%ers right, like, I guarantee it, like, going to work, you actually can't feel the best you can actually feel. Like, I've said to these boys before, like, there's been 3 days in my life where I actually woke up feeling like Superman. Like, it felt like there was literally drugs in my veins. And I just know I was fortunate enough to achieve that because I had no, stress of going to work. I didn't have to wake up at a certain time. I had no other stresses because money had solved like 90% of all my stresses in my life. And then it just happened to be like I was getting perfect sleep, perfect nutrition, so well rested, just the right amount of exercise where it's not too much that's overtraining. I feel fatigued and flat the next day. Then for whatever reason, like 3 times in my life, I just woke up with energy in my veins. I just felt like it was possible. And it was all a combination of those 3 things. And then I noticed those 3 days as well, I slept 9 hours. And I'm just trying to like sleep 9 hours every single day. But for whatever reason, I just can't. I always naturally wake up around the 8-hour mark. But I'm like literally praying, like, please, can you tomorrow let me sleep into 8.5 hours at least? Because I actually want to get to that 9. But yeah, it's weird how.
Bro, I got a funny story as well. Like, I remember, I think it was last week. There was like 3 days in a row. I had days off from work, and there was like 3 days in a row where I slept really well. And each time I woke up, like my last dream was like me giving like a Wolf of Wall Street speech. And then you boys were in the crowd like, yeah, let's go G, let's go G.
That's the good shit.
That's the good shit. And I woke up feeling pumped up. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
That's the best
But
shit.
like I got really good sleep that night. So like
That's good, man. That's epic.
But even think about sleep, right? Imagine if we only get 6 hours sleep compared to we would get 8 or 8+ hours sleep. One person's happy, one person's literally depressed. Or like in a depressed state of mind. One is not you.
Absolutely.
Like, I never feel good when I have less sleep. I'm not as motivated. I can't be bothered working. I'm not proactive. I feel like just relaxing and like, oh yeah, chuck on the Netflix or whatever. But when you get good sleep, it's like you actually want to go and chase. You want to go and do stuff.
Well, it's like the point of the battery, right? In the Willpower podcast. Like when you get full sleep, like your battery is like 100%, like for the, and it lasts the whole day. It lasts a longer time during the whole day.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't get much sleep, you're only at like 70% charge or
100%.
80% charge.
100%.
So go check out the Sleep Expert podcast on Joe Rogan. We'll link that in the description below for you guys to get expert advice on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next one is we showed it in the last episode, but I think we should reiterate it, and that is to watch Schindler's List.
Yeah. Maybe this can be like just movie night. So I reckon we used to do it. We should probably start going again. But I think it's a good way to train your environment or like train the people around you. Like we like bring up like big like documentaries like once a month or something like that, or like Schindler's List or Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Not only watch it yourself, but if you want this journey for you to be easy as possible, which you should be, like you should want it to be easy, not hard, right? You want to be running downhill, not uphill. Then you got to bring in your loved ones in. So that could be whoever's in your immediate household. It could be a partner. It could be your parents. It could be siblings. You should just say, hey, once a month, we're going to watch something a little bit different. But let's just all do it together as a family. And let's watch something like Schindler's List. And it might literally change our perspective of life. Not just watch something just to have fun and just like, have a laugh about comedy or whatever. So, these big ones like Schindler's List and Jiro Dreams of Sushi, these are heavy hitters which can change your perspective of the whole world.
Yeah.
So, and it's really good if we're all sitting down together, that you have that community with you, then you achieve it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess like that point wasn't specifically for Schindler's List. It was just to watch something that's not on your regular, program.
Yeah. Like Squid doesn't help. Squid
Squid
doesn't help you.
Dude.
It's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. But she doesn't make you progress. I mean,
like Squid compared to Schindler.
Exactly. But on Squid Games, they did have, it does make a point. Don't get in debt.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point, right?
You can look at it like that, yeah.
Teaches you about psychology. The world turns to shit, and then you find yourself in a Squid Game. You know what to do now.
You're willing to do whatever it takes.
Everyone's going back and looking at the child's games they played as kids, and like, fuck, I gotta practice this shit. In a couple of years, I'm fucked.
But you know what I was thinking the whole time? It's a spoiler alert. Turn it off now if you haven't watched it. But you can vote out.
Yeah, no.
All you need to do is easy thing. You just vote out, you leave, and then you come to Hardcore Headstart.
You start investing your money, boys.
No, but everyone,
I can help all of you guys. It's so easy.
everyone has to vote out though.
Huh?
I think everyone has to vote out together.
Yeah, everyone
As a majority,
Yeah.
Still, fucking just, boys, listen. I came in here not because I needed the money, because I needed to tell you something. There's this company called Hardcore Headstart. All right, vote no. I'll take you with me. We go fix all your shit. Don't worry about dying.
We'll fix your shit up.
Yeah,
But the
that's-
odds, man. How many people were there? Like 400 people at
Yeah.
the beginning? Only one can win.
What?
And they were
This one was so
misleading you the
bad.
whole time. They're like, oh,
I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, I haven't finished the last
Yeah.
episode. So.
okay.
I've watched like 3 episodes.
Never
So
mind,
that's
never
not
mind.
the issue.
But
I think
it's
it's-
worth the risk, man.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
With content to watch, it's like sometimes watch something that you enjoy, that you like watching, blah blah blah. But learn to love things that teach you something. Watching Neighbours doesn't help you. Watching,
Homer Simpson.
watching The Simpsons. Oh
Don't get
my
me wrong.
days.
These are all entertaining.
Watching what's the stupid
for
ones
fun.
with like the
Rick and
reality
Morty.
ones?
No,
The
that's a
ones-
good one. I like Rick and Morty. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't teach you much, but
I don't know, maths or what's that one? What are the
Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
Oh, just
that.
like in terms of like reality TV.
Yeah.
or
in
like, are
general.
you smarter than a fifth grader?
Like, listen to me. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Unless
Stop
you're
watching
watching
it.
things to learn something specific from it.
What are you learning?
I mean, like keeping up with the Kardashians, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, keeping
That-
up
that's
with that shit
different.
is good. Yeah.
Because it's an actual documentary on them.
If you can see behind the scenes, you can see there's actually genius business people at work
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
But it's a hard one to see. The average person just consuming it for the, the gossip and the fighting and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Maths is a bunch of walnuts. Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, like I was watching one called Selling Sunset.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was watching. There was a lot of drama in it, but I was actually watching it for the property.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you
The
can see
property
what
was
they're actually
really
doing,
nice,
yeah.
and they actually teach you some stuff along the way as well.
And now you can only imagine that company is that's their second business venture is content. Well, like, look at us compared to them. Our content is making no money, or doing hardly anything. They're hitting millions of people. So their form of content is, instead of go YouTube, you go Netflix route. It's just harder to do. Props to them. Well done. That's an achievement. And then how's their real estate business actually performed since the show? I could only imagine it's gone and grown triple digits now.
Yeah.
Like they've probably made 100% ROI on their growth of their business now, I'm guessing, which is extremely hard to do, to compound your business at 100% for just even 1 year.
And you showed us their new place as well. That was amazing, bro.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
And then you get that Netflix money to invest into that. It probably didn't even cost them a cent.
Yeah.
They probably own Netflix the stock as well.
Yeah, that's pumping.
They're just tearing.
I did want to add though, there is a trilogy, a movie trilogy that that motivated me when I was a kid. The Batman trilogy, Christopher Nolan specifically.
Oh,
dude, that one. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but like that one. Like when I was young, I watched that and like that motivated me so much. Like, because it shows you like the progress of Batman, like Bruce Wayne becoming Batman, and like why he chose to become Batman.
Yep.
And like it just shows you like all the struggles that he takes on, and he's getting beaten down by these villains and shit, but he just keeps coming back.
Yeah, that's some good shit.
And he wants to protect the whole the whole city of Gotham.
Yeah.
He just wants to keep coming back. So that shit motivated the fuck out of me when I was younger.
I think like those type of movies as well, for me, it's like if there's like mastery in the filming and the storytelling, it's like that's the Giro.
Yeah.
Like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not even the movie. It's like how the movie's shot. Like this is next level stuff. This is mastery. Like however they directed this movie is like on another level.
Yeah.
That pumps me up too. Like seeing people in their element.
Yeah.
And presenting their artwork to you, and like at restaurants as well. We go to nice restaurants and stuff.
It's the effort and thinking or thought behind something.
Yeah.
We can appreciate.
Yeah.
I know that.
I think for me, like a movie like that had an impact, like it did on you, was Interstellar for me. So like I'm an engineer, so like that I geek out on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And just the way that they make you think of time, and then they make you think of different dimensions, and it's insane. It's so creative, but it turns out to be true.
Yeah.
So it's like I appreciate that form of art.
And then those YouTube explanations of the physics, and they explain it. That's how I'm like, oh, what? That's mind-boggling shit.
So good.
Yeah.
And the fact that I watched it for the first time in IMAX, it was just like a completely different experience.
That crazy.
Dude. That's wild, man.
It's both Christopher Nolan.
So
like,
good.
You can tell he puts so much effort into his movies.
Yeah.
So good.
I think that one's on repeat at IMAX, like once every 6 months or something.
Yeah.
I should go check it out.
Oh, we should go watch it at IMAX. I've never seen it at IMAX.
It's so epic, man.
That's sick.
It's so good. I think that kind of leads on to the next point.
Oh, actually, I got one more point before I say go to the next one. So talking about the energy stuff and doing whatever success means to you, something that I just personally realized is like I had it in my mind, like watching Netflix at night was recovery. Then remember I spoke the other night to you guys, I'm like, hey, but when I actually man up and go for a bike ride instead of watching Netflix at 8 p.m. at night, you wouldn't expect it, but because I'm doing what success means to me, I actually feel more energized when I get home. I fall asleep better, and because then I'm like not thinking in my head, oh, the Netflix was a waste of time and I can't fall asleep and I'm angry at myself. And then I wake up tomorrow, I'm like, boys, I'm pumped. I did the good shit. I did it right. So like, I feel like that's what it means. Like, do whatever success means to you. That doesn't mean like you have to do it like that. I'll watch Netflix maybe many nights of the week. But I found personally, so far, if I do the bike rides instead, got a second amount of cardio, it feels better.
You're definitely right.
Yeah.
But sometimes I love my movie at night. Like I know you're right. I know you're right. I'm 100% struggling at the moment to just not watch that movie at night.
Yeah.
I'm in that habit for some reason. So
For me, it's not watching Netflix. For me, like watching Netflix at night is fun. But for me to feel like how you felt after going for a run or going for a bikie at 8 p.m. is if I can just sit down, focus, and read a physical book.
Oh yeah, that's a good
before
one
I sleep.
Yeah.
For me, that feels like a success.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of person, I just can't focus on a physical book. I've improved a lot since I first started. But if I can just get that extra bit of reading in before I sleep, to me that's success. And I wake up so happy when you say. Yeah.
Ripper.
Let's go. All right, next one.
Yeah, so like speaking of IMAX, it comes into like the next point, which is the concept of Hero Day. We need to do it again, but we used to do it back in the old dojo once a week, where we would all get together, work during the day, and then we would reward ourselves as a group, and it was kind of like a bonding, as it was a day to like work, level up, as well as bond.
Yeah.
And the main purpose of Hero Day is the environment. It's to surround yourselves with like-minded people working on similar kind of goals. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like when we talk about Schindler's List. If you watch it with your friends and family, you all hold yourself accountable to watch the movie. And it's the same with the Hero Day. Like, if you're just saying, "Hey, let's all go to the state library or whatever," and we're gonna pump out 6 hours, and we're not allowed to leave. And then we all just do it, and then we're going to reward ourselves with going to IMAX, watching a great documentary or watching a great movie like Interstellar. Then after that, we're all going to we might play a little bit of soccer or something at the park and then get dinner together. It sounds like a great day. Like, and it was worth the investment. You got that much work down. You spent money and you rewarded yourself, but you had fun. You feel recharged, and is that money worth the amount you got done? Worth your mental happiness now? So
yeah, definitely. Did that. It was so fun doing that Hero Day.
Yeah.
And the goal is clearly set for the day.
Yeah.
And you're made accountable by the people around you as well.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like
true.
You're putting yourself in the best chance of actually going out and getting it done.
Yeah.
It's like because I know, like, if you sit at home and try and smash out 10 hours by yourself, it's considerably harder.
Yeah.
Considerably harder.
Yeah.
Like if you go with the boys and the girls, go. This is the sole purpose of today. Smash this shit out.
Yeah.
Feel better.
And you can start with one person. Like, if you can find one mate, just do it.
Yeah.
Go call up Augustus. Head over to, head over to get the reading done and start pumping it out. Like
Man said Augustus. What?
just hit the books, boys.
Dude, have you been watching Willy Wonka?
Just the first name that came to mind.
That's the first name that came to mind.
Hey?
Bro, that's cap. There's no way. That's hilarious. There's no way 4 minutes ago when you started this point, you thought, I'm going to say Augustus. Dude, that's the best shit.
I feel bad for
Willy Wonka.
I feel bad for that guy that's actually named Augustus that's watching our podcast.
We love you.
We loved you, Augustus.
Yeah, just got to start with one friend, and then I think what we'll do eventually is we got to do it. We're gonna make a promise that we'll all go out as Hardcore Headstart with everybody that watches the podcast, everywhere that tunes in with us, everybody. We've got to find out our community name. Are we Headcore Starters or Hardcore Headstarters? Like, what are we? I don't know.
The Hardcoreans.
The Hardcoreans. We're gonna find them as hardcore. Yeah. And then we'll just go out as a team.
Hardcore hogs.
Hardcore hogs. Oh yeah. Just imagine we packed out the whole state library. It was all of us just pumping out books.
Dude, imagine all the boys on different floors.
Yeah. Dude, I think just like in the last podcast, how you gave a shout out to Doc for like his React video. I'd like to give another shout out to Doc for his latest React video. He actually reacted to a video that we made back in 2017. It was like a Hero Day.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a hero.
Yeah.
And we were on a mission that whole day, and it was pretty cool how you reacted to it.
It's
It was
a good
really
example,
cool
yeah.
seeing it again. That video.
Yeah.
We'll link that in the description as well. Man, you're just like
Yeah, I know.
you're like reacting to these videos, preparing for like the podcast, so that we just give you a shout out.
She's on purpose, boys. Come on, give me some credit.
Doc's
She's on
the
purpose.
game theory when he
He's on the
releases
game theory, ultimate Doctor Strange.
She's literally on purpose. We've been talking about it for 3 weeks, boys.
But no, shout out to Doc because that was a pretty epic video.
Let's go, Doc.
Highly recommend go checking that out.
Well done, Doc.
Yeah.
Let's go, Doc.
All right. Should we start pumping out this
Yes.
morning routine?
So the next thing we're going to talk about. So now, yeah, that's all what we've missed. Most likely we'll probably do another one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe or briefly, real quick, I think we actually forgot to link the detail cleaning chart.
Right.
So we got to quickly edit it up and we'll just make like a one that people can do at home.
Yep.
So like in their mornings, you know, you keep the house more than spotless because if you have that high standards for yourself, it will just feed into other areas of your life.
Yep.
It'll keep you like accountable to like, this is what we do. We do the good shit.
Always good shit.
I heard the other day someone say to me, oh, well, my mum doesn't give me a chance, so she doesn't like me doing it. You know, my mum's, she's always the one doing the cleaning. Like, your mum's raised you for how many years you are old. Like, take some leadership and just start doing it. She doesn't let you do it because she doesn't think you can do it the same quality, nor do you show consistency.
Yeah, it sounds like she doesn't trust you. in that
She
sense.
doesn't delegate. Yeah. For a reason.
Meaning you need to be consistent, accountable to yourself, and actually have high quality of what you're doing.
And maybe even open the lines of communication with your mum. Say, hey, mum, I know you said you don't want to do this, but honestly, I want to really do it for you because you've done so much for me.
Yeah.
If we're talking about cleaning the bathroom, for example, as an example, like what would a good job look like? Can you show me? And like then write down little dot points and like then hammer it out perfectly. Do more than our expectations.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I just want to say that's not an excuse. So go and get it done. Like, just heard that a lot. So
Sure. So a link, we'll have a Google sheet in the description below for anyone to do. Again, do what you guys think is right for your environment. We'll just give like a brief template of what we do here.
Yeah.
And then you guys can use it for your houses or your environment.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is like, it's kind of like a checklist. It's kind of like a morning routine, but it's practically like what you do throughout the whole day. These are just little tips and like strategies in order of like what to do and what order to do it to get the most out of your day. So yeah, think about it as a morning routine. This is pretty much getting everything from the podcast so far, then you can apply it to your day in probably roughly the right order. You can mess around with depending on like, your certain situation because everybody is different. Some people start work way earlier and have short shifts. Some people have longer shifts at work and all of this other stuff. But this is a rough guide, and it will show you as well like our way of thinking about going about your day too. So I'll give you some insight there. So the morning routine starts with the day before. It doesn't even start at the morning. And it starts the day before with getting at least 30 minutes of some sort of exercise in. So what we've found is sometimes it's not even really about the health benefits of the exercise. That's a positive. But I think the biggest one is if you just do at least 30 minutes of exercise, that will make you just the right amount of tired. So then you can fall asleep easy and you're not tossing and turning 24/7. Then yeah, if you get that one done, that's like really important. Then the next thing is have 10 hours of no caffeine before going to bed. So like really literally track it. Like before how we're saying like we think of ourselves as elite level athletes and they have certain diet and regimens that they have to stick to. Same as us. You know, you don't want to have caffeine in your system because it's going to most likely mess with your sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm one to like I can barely have caffeine at all, right? So it's also dependent on who you are as well. But I say 10 hours because that's going to work for most people.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, dude, know yourself. If you're intolerant to caffeine, I probably don't have it at all. But, play with this for what works for you.
Yeah. And the reason why 10 hours is because coffee actually stays in your system a lot longer. And you want to give as much time between, when you had coffee and when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
So just time it 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another thing is like you want to get some sort of sun exposure to help regulate your circadian rhythm. So you need to get and that's where the 30 minutes of exercise kind of comes in. I found that it's way better to do it outside, so because it helps with that circadian rhythm and it can help with getting you to sleep on time. So that's one thing. Then the next thing relating to the sun is turn off most of your lights in your house when the sun starts to go down. You don't have to do exactly 6:30. It's still a bit early, but if you're sleeping around 10 p.m, you probably want to have most of the lights off around 8. So then it's naturally with the circadian rhythm and all of that as well. It's what the real world is actually like. Because if you mess with that, it confuses, the body. The body doesn't know it's supposed to be awake because the sun somehow is staying up longer than it actually, can.
So when it comes to turning off your lights, does that mean every single light, or can you still have warm light?
I think you can still have some lights, but I reckon it'll be very minimal. We would only have one in the kitchen that gets most of a whole living area, and then we might have we're lucky because on our way up to the stairs we've got those little tiny lights. Let's just turn them on. But I think especially if it's in your bedroom, I would just put a really dim lamp on. It makes a massive difference. These are the things that literally add 1 to 5% of making you have higher quality sleep, which will then have you more energy the next day.
I've heard as well, when you go to sleep, make sure there's no light at all, even computer light or anything.
Even touching your skin and stuff. It shows.
Because apparently that messes with your sleep throughout the night.
Yeah, there's sensors on the skin supposedly that can feel it hitting you.
So even ever since I heard that, I've turned everything off, when I go to sleep, computer light, any light that I have.
Oh yeah, same as well. Flip it off from the switch.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking into getting those smart switches now. So then you can control it to how dim or not the lamp is exactly, and then it will automatically turn off at a certain time.
Yeah, I got the smart globes in my room.
Yeah.
I don't use the lights from the actual house anymore. I kind of manage to have, so in the mornings when I wake up, I've got it set on a time. I wear the big lights that we've got around here, the big ones, really white light will turn on when I wake up.
Yeah.
So it's bang, there's no way I'm staying.
Yeah.
Man, I'm awake now.
Yeah.
And then at night, you've got the softer lights, your yellows, your deeper rich ones.
Yeah.
You can get them from to Kmart for $30.
Yeah,
That's cool.
The LED strips, or they come in the bulbs, and you can change the entire percentages and on your phone and stuff like that, which makes it easy.
Yeah, that's really worthwhile. So I think by this stage, people are kind of understanding how we think. It is a bit weird compared to the average person, but this is the length that we go to because our why is so important to us to donate $1 billion. So we're going to go to the extremes to make it a reality. You hear any of the world's greatest people at anything. It could be Michael Jordan or whoever, they're extreme people. And that's why they're at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing or bad kind of thing or habit or mistake I get into is not turning the TV off until I'm all right, now I'm going to sleep. So I'll turn the TV off and then I'll go straight to sleep. You should probably turn it off half an hour to an hour before you're actually going to sleep.
Yeah.
That's a bad habit of mine at the moment. So working on that one, but
And then the next one is just avoid eating and drinking anything other than water roughly 3 hours prior. Because if it's really heavy sitting on your digestive system, it messes with your sleep as well. So don't go too hard. Don't get, go straight to Kentucky. If you go hard and get a Kentucky bucket, you're going to be tossing and turning and regretting that thing the whole night.
I actually did this experiment last night just to make sure. I was because I hadn't done it in ages. You just don't eat early enough. I did it last night. I ate 2 burgers an hour before I was going to sleep.
Yeah.
It's the worst night I've ever had in ages. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And a Tim Tam milkshake.
Yeah.
That's
And
why we
also-
had food last night, and I was like, "Why are you ordering so late?"
Huh? Yeah, I was
You got
literally,
food?
I wanted to test it.
I was like getting
fucking-
ready to go to bed, and I hear the ding dong, food for Doc.
8 o'clock was it?
Huh?
Yeah,
Was
it
it 8
like
o'clock?
8
Yeah.
o'clock, yeah.
I wanted to test it. See if it,
And if you're in Augustus, make sure you don't eat chocolate as well before bed.
dude, poor Augustus. He's
We
been,
love you, Augustus.
he's been bullied his whole life about that name. And now
Gosh.
he finally found a podcast. He's like, oh, I love these boys. Fuck, he got me again.
What are the odds that we say Augustus?
They're literally 0.1. How did you think of Augustus?
But yeah, no food or water 3 hours prior to sleep.
Oh, you can
Oh,
have,
you can
can
have
have water, but no like
food.
Oh, no food. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no
no
food.
like
Other than
drinks,
water.
like soft drinks or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
other drinks.
Yeah, and be careful with the soft drinks because so many of them have caffeine.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Coca Cola.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Coca Cola, Mountain Dew.
There's like 3 that don't.
Yeah.
It's like Fanta, Sprite. I can't even think of it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then our next one is like just 2 hours prior, you can think about disconnecting from work. This might go into like what success means to you. So maybe like you're in a stage of life where you really want to go hard and you want to like you can't think about wasting those last 2 hours. But for us now and like thinking about more conservative people, to go to sleep easier, you can disconnect from work 2 hours. Nothing wrong with that. Do something else, chill out and watch the Netflix if that happens to be a thing or whatever. Read the book, what Sam was talking about. But then just trying to slow down the mind a little bit so it's not racing. Then like 1 hour prior to sleep, then just try to turn your screens off because those are making the mind stay alert as well. And it happens to do with the light as well. So, light on the eyes keeps you awake because it feels like it's still the sun. The sun is setting. And then we got in there as well, like we're not doctors or anything, but do your own research about taking do your own research about taking magnesium.
Mhm.
It feels like to us so far based on our research that it seems like it's a natural sleeping pill with no side effects. Do your own research to make sure that's the case and check with your doctor, but it's worked wonders for us. It just really improves the quality of sleep, like just having one magnesium 1 hour prior to bed. It really helps with that stuff. And it just feels like, you have a deeper sleep for whatever reason. And then, be in bed 30 minutes before you need to sleep. Don't be jogging around and doing all crazy shit. Just get in bed and then, you're resting. You're getting into that state of mind. The next one, it seems very small, but I would say it's actually very important. I think you want to prepare yourself for success of that high quality sleep. So I would put like 1 cup of water by your bedside, just in case you're a person that gets thirsty at night. Because if you happen to wake up and go, oh, hey, I'm actually thirsty, I need to go to the bathroom and drink or kitchen and drink, that walking process may, wake you up, and the probability is higher that you have worse sleep. So if you just have that little glass of water there, in case you need it, you can then just drink it on the spot and go straight to sleep. And then, so that's not like what we do like the night before to prepare for the morning. Now we're talking about the actual morning itself. So what we say is you want to do what success means to you. So for us, it means not wasting like too much time. And we want to be the hero of our own journey. And we've got to think, what does the hero actually do? So as soon as we wake up out of bed, like the alarm goes off, you don't waste any time. You just jump out of bed straight away, because you got to think of what is your version of a hero. Does your version of a hero just stay in bed and do whatever that happens to be, or do they jump out of bed and get straight to it? For me, the hero jumps out of bed and then says, "That's the good shit. That's what we do." Right? You say that to yourself,
Or we say, feel it, because you got to feel it.
yeah. And you got a little trick about like putting your phone like on the other side of the room.
Yeah, so I've been doing this for years, where it's like, instead of charging my phone like next to me, I put it on like another charging port, like on the opposite side of the room. So when my alarm used to go off, now I don't really use an alarm, but when I do wake up, I have to like get out of bed and physically walk to my phone to check it.
Yep.
And you have like a bed that's
Yeah,
high
and
up.
I have a bunk bed as
Yeah.
well, so that makes it like
You got no excuse there.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So that makes it harder for me to actually check my phone.
Yeah.
So then once I actually get out of bed, I'm like, oh, I'm up now, so I can go do my morning routine.
Yeah. And then just briefly touching on like the "that's what we do" thing as well. It's kind of like tapping into psychology, because it's pretty crazy in regards to, if you even compliment yourself, like give yourself a reward, it actually will lead to you doing the same action again. So it's kind of like you're a dog, but you're the owner as well, rewarding yourself like that. So it's crazy. Like, it sounds stupid. That's what we do, and that's the good shit. But if you reinforce it, with yourself, you actually feel good.
Yeah, if you want to research it, go look at Pavlov's dogs. It's called positive reinforcement. Like, there's studies done for years on it, so you can. It's a real thing.
And then like as soon as you wake up, turn on all the lights like straight away. Make it so then your body knows that it's awake, because a lot of people they have the blinds down and then it's not really doing anything. So like your body doesn't know like the sun is already up. So get that sun to hit your body, will make you feel more alert. Go walk to the toilet, do what you need to do. And then after you've done that, what I like to do is then go straight to the calendar. Write on your big, massive calendar the habits that you're building, that you need to build in your life now, and just write it down. Like that example that would happen to be in the morning would obviously be about like weight for myself. So that's why I like to do it straight away to see where I'm at. So I just write my weight there. So like a calendar, that could be one that you move around. If you haven't actually done anything yet, but like put your calendar on your list, you can move it around. Maybe put one at the end of today's routine, or at the night time as well. Like, did you do your exercise? Did you do your reading? Did you do what you're actually supposed to do? Build those habits. And then like the little nuance there is like, you're turning on the lights, you're then walking to the toilet, and then you're walking back to the calendar. So it's like forcing movement. And if you force movement straight away rather than just staying in the bed, you're waking up quicker. So a lot of this stuff is like talking about the opportunity cost of getting you to optimal as fast as possible. Because if you go at this stuff slowly and you not really care about your morning routine, you could be feeling drowsy for too long. And that means you're not performing at a high level for that amount of time. Then after you do that stuff, get some hydration in, because you might be dehydrated from the night before. It might have been a really long time. I found out like just 1 cup of water is like pretty good. I've experimented with all this stuff and tried doing like 1 liter straight away, and more than that, 2 liters, 3 liters, just straight scull it. But I felt like it puts too much pressure on the digestive system as well. So there's something about just doing like 1 cup. That's my body.
Is that 1 cup of just normal temperature water, or is that like cold water, hot water?
I think people do say like from what I've heard, like normal temperature is better.
Yeah.
But I think just do whatever. I don't think it's that much of a difference if it's cold. The argument is it does slow you down, but just say do what you like.
Yeah, I get in as much. I get real thirsty in the morning, so like I get in as much water as possible. Like until I actually like you're saying, feel that feeling. That's why I like get that in, then I go to the toilet. I'm like, I feel good.
Yeah,
I'm sweet.
Yeah, I'm exact same.
Yeah, a little nuance for myself in terms of sculling water. If like I know I need to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, that's when I want to wake up, and I naturally woke up at 4 o'clock because I need to go to the toilet, I'll still go to the toilet, but then because I know I'm gonna need to be up in an hour, I'll scull a lot of water, because then I know that will perfectly time with me needing to go to the toilet at my alarm at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So then I've already got that hydration in before I've actually woken up, so I'm already fully hydrated.
So maybe a side note as well. People need to drink more water.
Oh yeah, for
just
sure.
more in general.
Like just in general. Like I probably have anywhere from 5 of these a day, pretty comfortably.
That's a liter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 liters.
Really comfortably.
Yeah.
That
Like-
2 liter thing, it doesn't make any sense unless you're really small.
Unless you're a camel.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I recommend everyone just get like a liter bottle, so you don't have to like measure how much it is.
Yeah.
So you know it's a liter every single time you finish it.
Yeah.
And just like drink that like 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Try to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. After getting that 1 cup of water in, then you can go back again. It sounds like now this is wasting time, but you're going back to opening up your blinds fully and opening up the windows. I've thought about this as well for myself. Like, is it wasting time? I could have done this the same time as doing the calendar and all of that. But I just like, for some reason, personally, doing another rep of my room to just force me up. And then, I don't know, just something about it. The more steps I do in the morning, it correlates to me being more productive in the day, I found.
Blood flow.
Yeah, more blood flow. That's important. Yeah.
And we're lucky to have stairs. So like when I need to go to the toilet, get some water, I need to like run up.
Yeah, that's good for you.
That's really good.
Yeah. And then, opening up your blinds allows more light in, wakes you up more. Then opening the windows allows more airflow. And what did all the studies say? If you got good oxygen, you actually are more productive. So just open up all the windows, open up the airflow. Sometimes we do it like we airflow like whole levels of the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get more oxygen in, flowing.
If you're in a position, like I'm very, very lucky, my window is directly kind of facing, well, it's a really big window, and the sunrise directly comes in that window. So I make sure I have my blinds and airflow and window open just before the sun's coming up. That's at the latest. And the minute that comes in, I'm sitting in my grandfather chair that I've got. I'm already on the laptop, and it's just like, I've nailed it. I'm good. Sweet.
That's a ripper.
Let's go.
And my room doesn't have any windows. So the thing is, I don't let that be an issue. I worked around that. And my thing is, because my room literally has no windows, it's only got like one little skylight, which is tiny, and it's fucking hard to access. I'd have to like take out this fucking 3-piece connector that like opens it. So I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to stay in this room for a long time because there's no windows, right? So I just get down as quickly as I can and just go on the balcony.
Yeah, that's a ripper.
Do you know how angry it made me the other day trying to close that thing for Sameer?
Oh, it's hard to hook on the thing.
Yeah, so it was raining and Sameer was out and he goes, hey, he messages, hey, can you please close that thing? Dude, I honestly, like, it takes a lot to frustrate me. Yeah. But trying to get that thing on the hook to close the thing, I was like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. Can't do it. Took me so long. So frustrating. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm pretty lucky. What's next?
The next one is like, what a lot of us do is we chuck on a video that motivates us. Could be anything, just to be like aligning our brains with this way of thinking. So it's normally like, I normally put it on something that's like in terms of like thinking big, getting me ready for the day, getting me motivated for the day. And it's not there to learn anything new, but it's just like another repetition to literally brainwash myself.
Yeah.
So put someone crazy on.
These days I've been listening to a lot of like Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh yeah.
He pumps me up, dude.
Yeah, he's alright. He's good.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Even David Goggins as well.
Yeah, those guys are rippers.
Yeah.
I love listening to Jocko Willink.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because that guy he just sucks all the excuses out of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he just primes you to dominate your day. Like, it's so good. Like, I'm an extreme guy, and I need like that kind of. He's like a father figure to me as well. Yeah. And he's just like, go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Yeah.
Then once you turn that on, then you can go have your shower, get some water on the skin, and this is where we'll probably recommend doing a cold water. But if you're getting started, go hot water first. And the easy way to do it is you go hot water until it becomes so red. You become red like a lobster. And then you go cold water. And honestly, it's not really hard at all. And you shouldn't, the benefit of the cold water is it's coming back to, this is probably the biggest bang for your buck in terms of the opportunity cost that we were talking about before. Because if you're doing everything that we've said so far, you can probably wake up like as 80% of your optimal 100%. So the cold water shocks you straight to the 100. So without it, you'll get to 100%, but it might take you until 10 a.m. And so you've had opportunity cost of energy throughout that time of those 2 hours. So if you can hit the cold water hard, then it's just like boom. And then then when you realize the value of that cold water, it no longer becomes like a thing that you are scared of, or like, it's like, oh shit, I'm getting a massive reward here, and it's only for 2 seconds of pain. The risk reward benefits are unbelievable. I can't believe this is for free. I should be paying for this stuff. Like, if you can really see value and understand what value is, it's very valuable that cold water even exists. I'm grateful for it.
Oh, for sure.
Imagine there was a world where no cold water even existed, and every single day you jump in a shower, you turn into a red lobster, you're gonna be tired. You know, it makes you lazy.
Yeah.
You know,
There's been like a lot of studies done on cold water.
Mm.
Again, go do your own research, but like even like when it comes to being more alert, having better blood circulation, your skin is better, your hair is better. It just does so many things, and it's such a low hanging fruit. Anyone can do it, and it's like a great win to start your day because it's not easy. Like if you hadn't done it before, it's not easy.
Yeah. When you're starting out, it's really hard, but the thing is, it's not going to be that hard forever. Exactly. Then your body adapts to it, and then you don't even feel it like after a while.
Maybe a little story. I thought so. You told a story of like doing it with your partner, right? You give them a cuddle in the shower and shit like that. But I actually found something interesting when experimenting with it. If you create a competition, you create that maybe a little bit of adrenaline in your partner as well. So I did it with Shazer the other day, like to really get it going. She did 10 minutes off the bat, no hot water in the beginning, just straight 10 minutes, no problems at all.
Nice.
Like straight staring me down too. I'm getting this done. So for the first, 2 or 3 minutes when you start it, it's like it's a kind of a cute thing. It's like doesn't hurt. Oh, move around. No, I won't do it. I'm not moving around. Blah blah. Blah. And then once you get into it and start feeling and stuff like that, so create a little fun thing with your partner. Create a competition. Create an experiment. It's all about growth. It's good for you. So I thought that might help some people.
Yeah. Nice, man.
Yeah, dude. When I do like a bit of Wim Hof breathing, like before I get into the cold shower as well. So like now because I'm so used to it, like my body knows like as soon as I do the breathing, like shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
Fucking ready for the cold.
That makes you alert as well. Just even breathing on itself.
Yeah.
And then you combine the two.
Yeah. So for the Wim Hof breathing is like just you take like multiple deep breaths like into your guts. You're like. And you full let it out as well.
Dude, is that who you got the idea from for the cold showers?
Cold showers, yeah.
Wim Hof?
Good old Wimmy.
We'll link that in the description as well.
Let's go,
that video.
Watch his video with Yes Theory.
Oh, that's a
documentary. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorite pieces of content on the internet.
So good.
I was actually inspired by Aubrey Marcus as well. We can link that as well. He's got a video on like Own the Day, and in that he talks about
his morning routine.
And in the cold shower he does as well.
Cool.
Yeah, then I think just pump out all your mundane stuff. Clean your teeth, get dressed, make your bed properly, clean your room, and make sure you've made your room good before you go out and lead into the world. So do your little world first, fix that. Then roughly around this time, the motivational video should probably be ending. This is when I'll turn on like a top 5 hero. So a hero that I need where like I'm lacking in like a certain field at that stage of my life, I'll turn them on. Could be whoever. And then you're just getting that in. So you're actually improving. You're getting more knowledge in or getting more reps in. So then you're doing stuff. Then roughly by this stage, feel if it feels right to drink another glass of water. You shouldn't feel too overly full. But then you're getting that second glass of water in already. And then this is when you lead out into the house. This is where you start adding value to your environment for others. Because odds are you're most likely living with other people. If you don't, then still do this anyway. But you want to do the detail cleaning or do the deets. So we're going to actually, we're going to have the link there for everybody to see it. But our details is no joke. Like, as an example, we're going to vacuum the house every day. Not once a week. Every day. Every day we do it. Right. Some people say that's opportunity cost. That's opportunity cost, yes. But it's rather to have that type of opportunity cost and have the high standards than to have the opportunity cost and have low standards. So it's like the way of thinking.
Also, another good way to think about it is you're respecting the environment that's giving you so much value, right? So it's like you have to take care of that environment because that environment gives you so much.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's why we do it.
Yeah.
Adding to that is like when you come home after a hard day at work and you see your house clean or your room clean, you're like, dude, I'm all right. So you feel so much better about your day.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And like for us, there's 4 of us, so we just alternate in different days of taking turns of vacuuming. We'll just have our names there on Monday, Tuesday, whatever. But if you're living alone, you probably don't have to do it every day, but maybe twice a week. Just make sure it's actually good though.
Yeah.
And you want to be different. Like we keep saying, like we want our environment so good that when people come to our house, they realize, oh man, these boys, they're different. They actually take care of this stuff. So it's actually forming trust on another level. Because it's like, oh, if their house is clean and it's spotless and it's perfect and they got all this good shit in this house, wow, I can trust them with other things. I can trust them with what they say, with their words, so they can absorb their knowledge better. And people invest with us too. Like imagine we had a really scrappy house, it's all mess and it's unorganized. Who's going to invest with us if we can't get that right?
For sure.
Yeah. It's just lack of organization across the board.
I think like another thing that we really value is first impressions. And your environment is going to be one of those things where it's like if someone comes into your environment, that's a representation of you.
Yeah.
So just keep it clean, keep it neat. It's you. You are the environment as well. You're part of it.
Yeah, it's so important. Like for whatever reason, first impressions, it's just stuck in your brain forever.
Yeah.
Whenever you met that person.
Yeah.
So you're going to be associated with a good feeling. Like the people might not remember the memory, but they'll have that feeling. Like whenever they have that name, your name, is that associated with a good feeling or a negative feeling? Yeah. You always want to be that good feeling. And it's going to really help you later on in life.
Yeah, they may not remember that your house was clean and really good, but they would definitely remember it if it's messy as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
People always remember negative things.
Yeah.
They remember every single thing about it.
Hence the news, right?
And then, pump out the detail cleaning, but just have the awareness to understand, is it the right time to do the detail cleaning? Ensure that you're really quiet and you understand that, other people could be sleeping or whatever. Make sure you're not a distraction. Boys could be doing podcasts like today, we're a little bit too loud. You do all that type of stuff. Really understand and respect everybody around you.
Especially for us, like it doesn't help that we have like an industrial vacuum cleaner. You can hear literally like 2 streets down the road.
Dude, this thing's a jet turbine.
So we have to think about the neighbors.
Yeah.
And, do it at a certain time. Respect other people while you do it.
But that's our brand. Our brand is always we get the good shit and we go large. So we've got the extreme shit. Yeah. Like the power on this thing's no joke.
Strong. You hear this thing starting up.
You need muscles. You need muscles to move this shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear when I started, it goes.
That's the good shit.
It goes, that's the good shit.
That needs to be a ringtone.
Dude, it sounded so good. That's the good shit.
That's the good shit. That's the good shit.
Do it again. I want to get this. I know we're on podcast, but I want to see it. Do it again.
That's the good shit.
We're off body right now. We go. Do it again.
That's the good shit.
We actually have to do that one day, just for the sake of it. We need to design a Dyson vacuum.
It's got that. It's got the Tesla technology. Who just plays the shit out.
Dude, why is this a fucking internal combustion engine? It fucking sounds like a diesel engine. What the fuck? It's like full electric, man.
Dude, gee, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That's a good one. It actually sounds like it.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish.
Oh,
that's a funny.
That was a banger, dude.
I'm laughing, man.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, well, like whenever you're doing the details, you just got to make sure you do it properly, because it's about adding value and helping other people and respecting other people. So always remember, you got to do it like Jiro, how he has so much attention to detail with his sushi. Set the standards for your house. All right. Then after that, you can go for a quick walk outside. This is probably the thing where G was saying run up the stairs and stuff like that, and then literally get the sun in your skin. And yeah, it doesn't have to be for long. It can be literally 2 minutes. And yeah, you'll feel the benefits of it. And it's like the circadian rhythm again, with literally getting that sun on your skin. And then you can do some like gratitude exercises. Like while you're out there thinking for 2 minutes, just think about how lucky you are. You know, how lucky you are to have your health. I always think about the Wiccan podcast, you know, and think in terms of Wiccan, how much, you know, how lucky we are compared to other people. And, you know, Wiccan, I bet you he goes how lucky he is compared to other people. You know, so there's always levels to it. And like sometimes just it's something as small as your phone. Look at this thing. This is like artwork because some of the smartest minds in history have come together to create this device for you that is just so powerful and so valuable. Like imagine this, like imagine you had like you was reset and you had no money to your name and you could only choose like 2 objects and you're not allowed to sell them. Which one will you choose? Will you choose $1 million Ferrari or will you choose a $2,000 or $3,000 iPhone? Which one's actually better for your life? The iPhone is just so much better than the Ferrari. Like the Ferrari can't even barely get you to A to B any quicker because there's a speed limit. You know, like it can't really, it doesn't add value.
Yeah.
It adds minimal value. You can argue it makes marketing easier and all this stuff, and you can be nuanced about it. But the thing is, the competition is not even close to the iPhone. So sometimes I'm grateful, like for literally being born in the 90s. Because if we were born, you know, in the 1800s, we wouldn't have an iPhone. We wouldn't have anything.
That'd be so useless.
None of this would exist. How would you even capture? Like, people thought it'd be impossible to capture something in video format back then, and then upload it to something called the internet. And then you could imagine you told someone you had a phone and you could talk and see the person, even if they were in the US or something, in the other side of the planet.
Dude, people in the 1800s thought electricity was witchcraft.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's only a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing about like magic. Magic is just technology we don't understand.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
So
we can reach like 300, 400 people that watch our podcast.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that many people in a room.
Oh, that's wild.
That's what doing some of the gratitude exercise you're talking about is thinking like us just speaking after 6 years of working, 6 years, 10 years working towards a certain goal, to have 300, 400 people here, like listening to what we're saying and really using that advice and understanding it. I'm like, far out. It just motivates me to keep going. I'm like, dude, I don't understand how this is, like, I understand it, but I don't understand how this is possible. Like, how are we in this position? You know?
Yeah. I
feel so lucky. It's like,
yeah. My gratitude exercise is something similar to that as well, where I liked what you said in, I don't know which podcast, but like you said it, where what would someone in a third world country do in order for them to just be in your shoes? So I'm like, what would I be doing if my parents never left India? What would I be doing?
Monster.
It's like, it's crazy, right? So I'm so lucky. So I think about those type of things, and then that grounds you, and then again, it gives you like, it reinforces your why.
Yeah. That's a ripper.
Yeah, man. Then, once you come back inside and understand how lucky you actually are, then make your Godzilla juice. Get the nutrients going. And what's the Godzilla juice? It's just whatever you can find that's healthy. Just chuck it in a blender, literally. For us, it normally is a mixture of coconut water, orange juice, heaps of different types of berries, frozen berries, banana, and are we missing anything? Mango, and that's usually our go-to one. And then it comes in, it's like literally like a dessert. It's really sweet and it tastes really nice, and then we get all our nutrients in, and like, no, I feel like a lot of people they don't have high energy levels because they're lacking nutrients. Simple as that.
Yeah,
get them in. Then once you've done all of that, it sounds like a lot, but honestly, like can be done in less than an hour, easy. It's not even that much. It's just because we've done it in the podcast and spoken about every detail. If you have the checklist, we'll print it out for you as well, like give you a copy. It's really quick. You just tick them off. It's real fast. And then this is when your day actually starts. So now you've actually done quite a lot. You've got nutrients in, you've woken up, you have high energy, you've listened to motivational videos, so you feel on top of the world, you've done your top 5 heroes. you know, and you're finding holes in your game. So you've actually already started studying too. But now this is when you probably should think about actually doing your reading for the day. So for us, we always try to stick to like 1 hour a day. And if you do 1 hour a day, the importance of that is because the average book is 7 hours long, which means you could do 52 books a whole year, which is like more than most CEOs do of like Fortune 500 companies. So if you think in that regard, I think that average is like something, last time I heard was like 30 or something, or like they might be around the 50 actually, but like you're like at that level. That's wild. And obviously you got to think about leading up to that and starting at like only 1 minute, like we spoke about before, and do 2 minutes the next day, 3. But if you can get in an hour a day, that's a lot of knowledge. And the compound effect of knowledge is if you do 1 hour a day for your whole entire life, you will be one of the smartest people in the whole entire world. No joke. No joke. You do that for 30 years, people can't compete against you. Just 1 hour a day. Simple as that.
It's a good goal to have, like, reach up to 1 hour a day of solid reading. Like, I'm understanding what I'm reading.
Focused reading.
Yeah, focused reading, deep work.
Yeah.
And then, study for yourself. Do the work for yourself, because that's when you will upgrade yourself. So we always think about ourselves as companies. Like, what is the value of Amazon? What is the value of Google? If you want to work for yourself, you want to add value to you. So the more reading you do, the more value you become. Like, what is the value of Chrissy G stock? What is the value of Dr. stock? What is the value of Dylan Weston stock? What is the value of Sameer's stock? You got to think of it like that. The more knowledge you get, the more your stock price goes up. And so if you do all of this, you've set yourself up, and then you can think about going to work. And then you get your money, you do all that, you thrive at work, you do what you have to do there. But the importance is you've done the work for yourself with the books before you go to work, because you are actually more important. You got to still have really high standards at your job, because it's no joke as well. But we find that most people, if they try to do this study for themselves after work, then the quality suffers. Why? It comes back to the energy podcast, because your energy is zapped from work. Do it while you're still in your prime.
It's also easier to have high standards at work if you're smashing this out in the morning.
True.
Yeah,
Then it's just part of your day.
Yeah. Think about all the things that we've put in this checklist, right? Those are all straight wins.
Yeah.
Before you even get to work.
Damn right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to keep winning.
Exactly.
Just getting dubs, boys.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not joking. I wish I had like this podcast when I was a teenager at school.
Dude,
Like doing this before
same.
school would have
Same.
been crazy.
Yes. Yes.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
Um,
That's it.
yeah, that's, I guess, the checklist, and we'll chuck the checklist up on
Yeah.
the screen, as well as we'll have a Google Sheets link to that as well. So you guys can literally use what we just said in the podcast and start crossing it off every single day. Again, once you cross it off, it's another win. Get that momentum going. Anything further you guys want to add on this?
That's it for me. What about you boys?
Much love.
Again, like, there was a lot of information that we talked about in this. So again, go back to the first episode, watch it again, get those reps in, or else you're going to just miss what we said. There's going to be a lot of things that you missed. And again, we're going to have things that we do miss as well in future episodes that we do. And we'll curate all the things that we missed and have another episode like this later down the track. But yeah, I guess that's episode 11 of Hanging with Hardcore, guys.
Let's go,
Let's
boys.
go.
Again, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upload that we do. We put a new episode out every single week. So far, it's been 11 weeks, and we'll keep going.
Let's go, boys.
Just dubs on dubs on dubs.
Let's go, boys.
And just remember,
All right. On that note, let's wrap it up. Pack it up.
Back it up.
pack her up.
Back it up.
Thanks for listening.